Hello, and thank you for watching my latest video here on True Audiophiles. Today is Record Store Day, so as usual, my video today will be covering the haul that I got for this week and kind of talk about Record Store Day in general. And I took a couple of pictures and a little bit of video at the store that I was at this morning. This was a little bit about today in terms of, in comparison to other days, record store days. It was a really, really big turnout. I was very surprised. Last count I had heard right before the store opened, they had about 100 people waiting in line, which it's definitely the longest line I've seen since any kind of a Taylor Swift release came out for that day. And it might even have been more than what I've seen for a typical record store day that had a Taylor Swift release too. So it was pretty impressive, and it was a good mix of different people. And I want to have a shout out to the people that I talked to in line today. I didn't get names, but you know who you are if you're watching the video, because I know some of you had subscribed to my channel, so I want to thank you for that. But I want to say hi to you guys. I had a great time talking to you, and hope you got everything you wanted and you had a good experience like I did as well. So what we'll do now is we'll get started and show you. First, we'll start with kind of the swag that we got as part of Record Store Day. Just so you'll know, I went to Newbury Comics. It's my local store. Great store, great people that work there, and love dealing with them because they really make the experience good. So, and it's just a great experience with them. So for starters, got a bag, a record tote, Record Store Day record tote. It's sponsored by Crosley. You know, Crosleys aren't my favorite record players, but you know what? They help advance records and to promote the music, physical music media. So I don't have a problem with them as long as you eventually start getting yourself a better turntable if you want to play your better records. So got a couple of posters, which this one was interesting. I saw, and I was not familiar with it. I'm gonna have to check it out now, and I'm sure that's why they put this in there. And it's looks like it's a series or a movie called The Greatest Hits, and it's on Hulu, I guess. And they've got a great soundtrack as part of that also. So that was a poster that they gave for Record Store Day. This one is kind of the standard one that you get almost every year. Is Dogfish Head Brewery always has a special Record Store Day poster, and this year is no exception. They're always very cool. I always wish that I had space to mount these somewhere on the walls, but my walls are completely full, and over full as a matter of fact. But again, another very cool poster by Dogfish Head Brewery. I actually do like some of their beer too. So, but now got a few bumper stickers. This one, I guess it's looks like, I'm not sure what this is all about. I mean, it says "Hot, smart, sexy people vote." I don't know if it means vote for in the federal, for presidents or whatnot, but because it talks about record store crawl, so I think it probably has something to do with that. I'll have to kind of investigate that and see what that's all about. All right, and we got a few more bumper stickers. This one's kind of fun. It says, "Go play some records, you'll feel better," and that's definitely the situation with me. That always makes me feel better when I play my records. This must be an advertisement for some sort of storage containers, BCW. We also got Paramore button because they were the ambassadors for Record Store Day. So this was the button for the ambassador for Record Store Day. And I guess this probably talks about the thing that talked about voting. So the Record Store Crawl lit, and another vote thing. Looks like it's a coaster. That's what I wanted to say. So some sort of a coaster for that. And then Goldmine, the Music Collector magazine. Looks like it's a guide to Record Store Day. I kind of want to check that out because I've heard good things about this company, and looks like it might have some cool and interesting stuff in it. So that was, I think, all the swag I got. So now let's go over the records. These are in no particular order. I will also say that there were a lot that I didn't get because there were just too many releases that came out. There was some just off the top of my head, so they kind of get honorable mentions. There was an Eric Carr release that came out. There are all the Beatles released stuff, including a Beatles mini, 3-inch record player with a little case for the records, and 4 3-inch singles that came out. Didn't want to get those. Well, I did, but they were just way too much money. But there was those. There was all the, like I said, all the Beatles. John Lennon had a release. Actually, Paul was, I think, the only one that didn't. George Harrison and Ringo Starr also had releases. So that was for that. And then there were a couple of others too that weren't quite as well known of those. There were several jazz titles that I wanted that I didn't get, mainly because they were live albums, and I'm kind of iffy about buying previously unreleased live stuff on Record Store Day. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that, because it's almost always a crapshoot. Although, looking at some of the stuff I bought, some of the stuff ended up being live stuff, but I've heard some good things about them, so I might be safe. So we'll start off with the 7-inch singles. So the first one up is Black Crowes, and Waiting is the single, and then there's a side B. That's Morsels for Mongrels, I think it says. Yes, Morsels for Mongrels is the side B, which is a previously unreleased song. So it's exciting to get the new Black Crowes. That's the side A is on their newest album, which I really, really like. I really love it. It's old school classic Black Crowes, and that's a really good song, and so I'm looking forward to checking out the side B on that. This one, I really want to get more information on what's the side B on this one, but this is GBI, which is basically Dave Grohl, and obviously from Foo Fighters, Charlie Benante, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, and Scott Ian. Both of those two guys are in the band Anthrax, so they all three got together and did a cover of a Bad Brains song, The Regulator, and I'm not sure what's on the side B on this, but really thought that was kind of cool. This one, which is probably I would guess one of the more popular releases for the day, is Olivia Rodrigo and Noah Kahan. I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong, but Noah Khan. Anyways, so I believe what this is it's the side A I think might be hers, and the side B is Noah's song. So want to check that out. All right, and again, these are in no particular order in terms of my favorites. There's certainly some that I'll go into here, though, that I just had to get no matter what. But we'll start off with this one. It sounded pretty interesting. We'll see how it is. Unfortunately, it is a live recording, but it's a later in the 70s recording, so it might be okay. And that's Brother Jack McDuff, Ain't No Sunshine. So look forward to kind of checking this one out. It's got some really cool tracks on here, and I really like a lot of the stuff that he does. Just recently I've started getting into him more. Next one up is one that is a soundtrack and has some great hip-hop stuff on it. So it's soundtrack for Murder Was the Case. So you got, as you can see, Snoop, and you've got Dr. Dre, and you got Ice Cube, and several other, Nate Dogg, and a bunch of other people on this soundtrack. And it looks pretty cool. Next one up is Paramore, and this is Why, the remix version of This Is Why, which was released digitally for downloads and streaming probably, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, maybe more. But this is the Record Store Day version. I got the ruby red version, or ruby colored vinyl they call it. There was a black version as well, but I opted for the color just because I like colored vinyl, as you probably know if you've watched my videos at all. Next up, this one is one that was definitely a need to have for me, as I was a huge fan of this album when it first came out, and this is celebrating their 30th anniversary, which that just boggles my mind, makes me feel really old, because I am. But anyway, it's G-Love and Special Sauce, and the big track is Baby Got Sauce, at least for me. But there's things I used to do, blues music, Garbage Man. There's a whole bunch of great songs, but it's also got 4 previously unreleased songs, I believe it is, that are rare B-sides. I guess it says on here, which are the first time on vinyl. So, looking forward to checking that out a lot. This one, even more so, I think. This is Talking Heads live at WCOZ 77, which WCOZ was I believe, a Boston-based or Worcester, Massachusetts-based radio station that they performed this at. And this is 5 of these songs were previously released on the name of this band as the Talking Heads live album that came out at that time. But there's 7 previously unreleased songs that are on this. This is cut by my buddy Joe at Sterling. So always awesome when he gets to do stuff because he does such an awesome job on these things. Next one up is another one that's super high that I had to have on my bucket list, if you will. And it's David Bowie, Waiting in the Sky. Essentially, this is the first iteration of Ziggy Stardust, if you will. It's basically, I don't know all the background to it, but I believe what this was basically the first iteration of the play of the tracks and how they're going to be positioned on the album, and early different recordings and what ended up finally making it onto Ziggy Stardust. So, and Ziggy Stardust is probably one of my favorite albums of all time. Not probably, it is one of my favorite albums of all time. So, super excited to check that out. They're also coming out with a box set that'll have all this stuff on it as well, plus additional things later this year. I don't believe that that's going to be coming out on vinyl, though, the box set, so it was great to have that record. Next one up. We got Elton John, Caribou. Similar to that G-Love, where it's got an actual entire record of side Bs and outtakes and things like that from the sessions, from the Caribou sessions for Elton John, and special mixes as well. But you got like Pinball Wizard, you got the new radio mix of The Bitch Is Back, several other things, extended version of Stinker, but this one's a really cool one. So next up, one of my favorite jazz musicians. This is basically Charles Mingus, Reincarnations, and I guess this was a companion to the album that they did called Incarnations, that they released. I don't remember, it was like a year or two ago, but this was mastered by Byrne Grunman, so it should sound very good, and looking forward to hearing that one. Next one is a very interesting one, and I'm very intrigued by it, and I couldn't resist getting it. But basically, it is a 12-inch single. And side A has got David Byrne doing a Paramount song called Hard Times. And side B has got Paramount doing a Talking Heads song, Burning Down the House. So I think that's going to be very cool. I can't wait to check that out because I love both artists. So it'll be interesting to see how they interpret each other's songs. So this one I am very intrigued about because I don't think I've ever heard it. And it's Parliament Osmium. And it's a deluxe version of the album, kind of similar to the G-Love and the Elton John. There's a bonus album of different tracks, extra tracks, like a mono single mix version of the song Breakdown, and a stereo unedited version of Breakdown as well, but from several other songs. But I guess this was the first Parliament album. So, love Parliament, love Funkadelic. Super stoked to get this because I've definitely never seen one out in the wild, and then this has got the extra bonus stuff on it too, so very cool. This one is another cool one I look forward to checking out. Another one that was cut by my buddy Joe at Sterling, and that is the Ramones, the 1975 Sire demos. So apparently these are the demos that were created by them to have the Sire executives listen to and decide whether they wanted to sign them or not. And as you know, they did. So looking forward to those hearing the kind of the early incarnations of some very cool Ramones tracks. I mean, you've got let's see, it doesn't help that I don't have my glasses, but there's some really great stuff on here. I Don't Want to Walk Around With You, and Today Your Love, Tomorrow the World, I Don't Care, Chainsaw, I Want to Be Your Boyfriend, Loudmouth. There's a lot of cool stuff on that one. All right, we're getting on the home stretch. Yes, even though I missed a lot of stuff or I didn't buy a lot of stuff, I still bought a lot of stuff. So, next one up, Sun Ra, um, Pink Elephants on Parade. Now, supposedly, I don't really know much about this one, but from the hype sticker, I mean, it says previously unheard Ra, called from the archives and compiled based on their association to that children's film corporation with the cartoon rodent. So Disney. But it's pressed on a special colored vinyl as well, and looking forward to checking that out. Sunray or Sun Ra, sorry, is definitely kind of a crapshoot. This stuff is either so far out there that it's sometimes hard to listen to, and sometimes it's still kind of far out there, but very interesting and very cool. So I'm not sure where this one falls, but my guess is it might be a little more commercial, especially if they were working on something for the movie that they were talking about. So, all right, a couple more. This one I was sort of on the fence on, but I decided to get it just because. Well, the big thing is this was a huge album for me when it came out. I can't read the release date. I want to say it was like 92 or 97. It may have been 97. But basically, it is it's a soundtrack to a movie. The movie was Spawn. Oh, I tried to take the sticker off. It didn't work. But anyways, basically, this was kind of like a response to the Judgment Night soundtrack that came out early prior to this, I believe. Which the Judgment Night soundtrack, for those of you who don't know, is basically kind of melded metal and hip hop rap. This one melded metal and electronica. So there were a lot of really cool combinations, like Filter and the Crystal Method. Can't You Trip Like I Do was really awesome. That was one of my favorites on this one. But Marilyn Manson and the Sneaker Pimps, Orbital and Kirk Hammett, Korn, the Dust Brothers, Butthole Surfers and Moby, which was awesome, Metallica and DJ Spooky, Stabbing Westward with Wink. Let me see if there's a Prodigy and Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, Henry Rollins and Goldie, Incubus and DJ Greyboy, Slayer and Atari Teenage Riot. That one is pretty awesome. And another one that I really like too is Soul Coughing and Ronnie Size. So I really, really love the album. I've had it on CD since it came out, and I just couldn't get enough of it. It was just so good. So very, very cool to get it on vinyl. And last one, another one that I was sort of on the fence with because it wasn't my favorite album of this artist. But it's grown on me a little bit, and I wanted to kind of check out the remixes that were made for this, and it was one of those things that this is one of those ones that grow on you, and that I don't typically listen to those anymore because I just don't have time. But anyways, it's Steven Wilson, Harmonic Divergence is what this is from. It's basically a Harmony Codex album remixed by different people and released on vinyl. They had a digital version that's been out for a little while, but this is the Record Store Day exclusive, although I think it's going to be reissued later. But anyway, full album of remixes from for the songs that were on the Harmony Codex by Steven Wilson. So that is everything that I had for this Record Store Day. Like I said, there are a bunch of other ones that I really wanted, but I just couldn't do it. There's just too many good albums that were out there, and I think that might have been a good indication, or may have been a good reason why the lines were so long today, because there was just so much great stuff out there that just so hard to decide on, what I was going to get. So, but that's what I got. Be very interested to see what you got if you went out for Record Store Day today. There was also a Bill Evans album that was a mono version of his album, and I think I'm going to hold off and wait until the stereo version comes out, which I'm sure it will soon. But a bunch of other stuff. Sonny Rollins had a live album that I was interested in, but again, it was live. Always apprehensive about live jazz titles that come out for Record Store Day. But anyway, want to hear what you got. Love to hear how you made out. How were the lines where you were? Were they as big as the ones that I was talking about, and that I'm probably going to show on some video in this in this video. So I have a couple of pictures and a couple of videos of the line that was at the record store today. But I want to hear your take and see how you made out. Did you have as much fun as I did on record store day this year? And I'd like to think that I made a couple of new friends this today, and it was very, very exciting. So that is everything for this video. I want to thank you for subscribing. I'll try to say that fast. If you do. If you don't, please do so. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you liked the video. Hit the comment section in this video too to let me know what your thoughts are, and then hit that alert bell so you can know when my new videos come out. So thank you very much, everybody. You have yourself a great rest of the day and a great rest of your week.